Level 1, the kid. You're 16, you don't have money, you don't have a license yet, but you have a poster on your wall of a car you'll never afford and a feeling in your chest every time one rips past the house at night. Your first car is a hand-me-down, a tired sedan with a dent in the door and 180,000 miles on it, and the day the title goes in your name, you sit in the driver's seat in the driveway and just listen to it idle. It's ugly, it's slow, it's yours. You start small because small is all you can afford. A cone filter you saw in a video, a set of seat covers, a subwoofer that costs more than the car is worth. You spend a Saturday installing it, and you wire the speaker backwards and blow a fuse and learn your first real lesson, which is that everything takes 3 times longer than you think. You scroll forums until 2 in the morning. You learn words you don't fully understand yet. Horsepower, torque, naturally aspirated, forced induction. You hear that some kid 2 towns over put a turbo on a car like yours. You don't know how, but you're going to find out. Level 2, the backyard builder. You're 19 now, and the whole car is a project. You wrench in your parents' driveway with a socket set from a discount store and a single work light, dropping bolts into the gravel and cursing in the dark. You lower it on cheap coilovers and it rides like a brick and scrapes on every driveway, and you tell everyone it's worth it. You bolt on an exhaust that's more sound than power, and your neighbors learn to hate you. You make every mistake there is. You strip a drain plug, you cross-thread a spark plug, you over-tighten an oil filter and round it off and spend 2 hours getting it loose. You buy cheap parts twice because the cheap ones fail, and slowly the most expensive lesson in the hobby sinks in. Buy once, cry once. You blow your engine the first time you really lean on it, a rod knocking like a hammer, and you stand over it in the dark with the hood up, broke and heartbroken. Then you find a junkyard motor, and over one brutal weekend with 2 friends and a rented hoist, you swap it yourself. It fires on the first try. You scream like an idiot in the driveway at midnight. You're hooked for life now, and there's no going back. Level 3, the Apprentice. You're 21, and you realize you can get paid to do the thing you'd do for free. You get hired at a shop. Not a glamorous one, an oil change and tire place at first, the bottom of the food chain. You rotate tires until your hands cramp. You change oil, you do brake jobs, you pull wheels and chase rust-frozen lug nuts with an impact gun until your ears ring. The senior techs treat you like furniture. You sweep the bays at close while they pack up. You buy your first real tools on a payment plan from the truck that comes every Friday, and the bill follows you for years. But you watch everything. You watch the good tech, the one who diagnoses a misfire in 5 minutes when everyone else is guessing. You ask questions until people get annoyed. You move to a real performance shop, the kind with a dyno in the back and project cars under covers, and now you're surrounded by the work you dreamed about. You're still the lowest guy there. But you're in the building, and you can hear the dyno scream through the wall, and you'd give anything to be the one running it. Level 4, the mechanic. A few years in, and you can actually wrench. You do clutches and timing belts in your sleep. You build a short block on the bench, measuring bearing clearances with a plastic gauge, torquing the mains in sequence, degreeing a cam. You learn to read a car with your hands and your ears, to feel a wheel bearing going bad, to hear a lifter tick before it lets go. You start doing turbo installs, fabricating, routing oil lines, plumbing an intercooler, and the first build you do entirely yourself makes real power, and the customer cries a little when he drives it. You take pride in clean work, in tucked wiring and torqued bolts and a bay you could eat off. You also take your first real beating. You burn your forearm on a header and wear the scar forever. You slam a knuckle into a subframe and lose a fingernail. You breathe brake dust and exhaust and solvent 40 hours a week and tell yourself it's fine. You're 24 and you make decent money and you spend most of it on your own car, which is never finished, because a tuner's car is never finished. That's the joke, that's the curse. Level 5, the tuner. This is the rank you wanted. You learn to tune. You sit in the driver's seat with a laptop wired to the ECU, and you start changing the numbers that make the whole thing live. Fuel maps, ignition timing, boost targets, air-fuel ratios. You strap a car to the dyno and make a pull and watch the line climb on the screen, and then you chase it. A little more timing here, a little more fuel there, listening for the one sound that ends careers and engines. Knock, detonation. That faint metallic rattle that means you've asked for more than the engine can give, and if you miss it, you put a piston through the side of the block in front of the customer who trusted you. You learn respect. You learn that the difference between a hero and a grenade is a few degrees and a bad tank of gas. You dial in a streetcar to run clean and pull hard and idle like stock, and the owner does a burnout leaving the lot, and you stand there wiping your hands on a rag, quietly proud. People start asking for you by name. Bring it to him. He's the one who tunes it right. Level 6, the lead builder. You're the guy now, the senior man in the shop. When a build is over everyone's head, it lands on your bench. The full motor builds, the standalone engine management, the car that has to make a number on the dyno, or the customer walks. You lay out the work for the younger techs in the morning. You catch yourself showing an apprentice a trick once, fast, then walking away. Figure it out. You do the wiring nobody else will touch, the custom harness with 100 connections that has to be perfect because one bad pin means a fire. You stay late. You're there when the lights are off in the rest of the strip mall, just you and a car on the lift, and a problem that won't quit, because you don't leave a job half solved. Your back has started to talk to you in the mornings from a decade bent over fenders. Your hands are permanently stained, the crease is black no matter how hard you scrub. You're 33, and your knees crack when you stand up off the creeper. You don't notice the years going by because every day is the same beautiful grinding rhythm, but your body is already keeping score. Level 7, the shop owner. You open your own place, your name over the door, or close to it. 2 bays become 4. You hire the kid you see yourself in, and a couple of techs you trust, and a front counter person to answer the phone that never stops. And here's the cruel twist nobody warns you about. The better you get at business, the less you turn a wrench. You're in the office now, doing payroll, fighting with the insurance company, arguing with a parts supplier who shorted your order, calming down a customer whose timeline you blew because the machine shop is 3 weeks behind. You make payroll for 6 families every 2 weeks, and some weeks the money isn't there yet, but rent is due anyway, so you cover it from your own account, and you don't sleep. You watch your guys do the builds you used to do, and you feel a strange grief, like watching someone else date your ex. You missed your kid's game again because a customer's car wouldn't make boost and the deadline was today. You tell yourself it's worth it, you're providing. The money is real now, it just costs more than you ever thought it would. Level 8, the master builder. Your reputation goes national. You build the cars that end up on magazine covers and in the front hall at SEMA, under the lights, with a velvet rope and a crowd taking pictures. You build a 1,000 horsepower streetcar that drives to the show and wins it and drives home. People fly their cars across the country for you to touch. You're a name now. You judge competitions. You consult for parts companies who want your stamp on their product. You can look at a car for 10 seconds and tell you everything that's wrong with how it was built, every shortcut, every $40 corner somebody cut that's going to fail at the worst possible moment. You've forgotten more about engines than most men ever learn. But you can feel the years in your body. There's a ringing in your ears now that never stops. 25 years of impact guns and exhaust and air tools screaming in concrete rooms. Your hearing is going. Your hands ache in the cold. You've got a scar for every era of your life, and a back that's fused in one place, and you stand in the spotlight at the biggest show in the world feeling, somehow, tired. Level 9, the legend. You're not really a tuner anymore, you're a brand. Your name is on a line of parts. Kids who weren't born when you blew up your first engine wear your logo on their shirts. You travel, you speak, you put your face on the thing other people build now. The money is more than the 16-year-old in the driveway could have dreamed. And some nights it feels hollow, in a way you can't explain to anyone. You miss it. You miss the simple, stupid joy of a problem and a wrench and a quiet shop at night. You miss being broke and obsessed and covered in grease with your whole life ahead of you. You're 58. Your body is the receipt for every choice you made. You drive past cars on the highway you know you touched, still running, still loud, still alive because of the work of your hands, and the kids inside them have no idea who you are. That's the job. The whole scene runs on what people like you built, and most of them will never know your name. You built something real. It cost you everything you didn't notice you were spending. Level 10, the retired. You finally step back. You sell the brand, or you just lock the shop one last time and hand someone else the keys. There's no ceremony. Maybe the guys take you to dinner and give you a framed photo of the first car that made you famous. It goes in the garage, next to the toolbox you can't bear to part with, the ratchet worn smooth by your own hand. Your hands don't work the way they used to. They ache in the cold and go numb at night. The ringing in your ears is your constant companion now, the sound of every engine you ever built. You try to be still. You can't. You wake early out of 40 years of habit, and there's nowhere to go, so you wander into the garage and fix something on a car that isn't broken just to hold a wrench again. You drive past a high school parking lot and watch some kid with a beater and a cheap exhaust and a head full of dreams, and you want to tell him something. Buy once, cry once, save your back, go home when they call you. You wouldn't have listened either. The money was real, and the work was good, and you'd do most of it again. But God, you wish someone had told you what it costs. And somewhere across town, a 16-year-old just got the keys to a tired old hand-me-down with a dent in the door. He sits in the driveway and listens to it idle, ugly and slow, and that feeling rises up in his chest, the same one you had, the one that never really lets go. He saves up for a cheap cone filter. He installs it himself and gets it a little wrong. He scrolls the forums until 2 in the morning, learning words he doesn't understand yet. He has no idea what he's signing up for. He just knows that when he revs it in the driveway, for 1 second, the whole world feels like it's his. He's about to spend 40 years chasing that second.